Just like many other series, the Netflix series The Witcher is one with a bulk of information. And so, it is very likely that you may have missed some insane things that happened in the series. This would include the long list of callbacks to references. Now, if you are yet to see the series, ensure that you do before going ahead, as this video will contain a lot of spoilers. But if you don't mind a few spoilers here and there, then feel free to stick around to the end of the video as we bring you 5 insane things that happened in the Witcher series. That said, let's jump right in. Number 1. The Rule of Threes. In the first episode of the 3rd season of the series, we see Jaskier's things being thrown into the streets after cheating on a woman. Once she was done throwing his things out, the dwarf of Yarpen, who was sent by Geralt to enlist his help, approached him. Now, it was quite clear that Yarpen wasn't Jaskier's biggest fan, so he was clearly annoyed by the fact that he was going to have to deal with Jaskier again. And to prove that, while standing in the middle of the street, they continued exchanging quips. This goes on for a while until Jaskier says something about the Rule of Threes. Now, most may think that this was just a pointer to the fact that Jaskier is a writer. However, this happened to majorly be a reference to the fact that this was the 3rd time he and Yarpen would be working together. Apparently, the two had been teamed up with Geralt in the episode Rare Species from the 1st season. In this episode, Yarpen and his band of dwarven warriors were a part of the 4 teams sent to hunt down the Green Dragon for King Nidamar. Initially, Yarpen and his dwarven warriors were Geralt and Jaskier's rivals, but this mission required that they work together, and in the end, Yarpen became friends with Geralt. But this was not going to be the last time they'd be working together. Later on, in Season 2, we see both Geralt and Jaskier hire Yarpen's crew one more time after Ciri is kidnapped by Yennefer. Yarpen followed the two until they were sure that Ciri had been safely rescued. And so, this final time in Season 3, where Yarpen was sent to get Jaskier, was the 3rd time they were going to be working together, hence the Rule of Threes. But this also means that this was probably going to be the last time they'd all be working together. Number 2. Zalil-Ib. In the 2nd episode of the 3rd season, we get to see Triss Merigold, who used to be Ciri's former mentor, but also one of Yennefer's fellow sorceresses. Apparently, we can tell that Triss hadn't gone back to King Foltest' court in Temeria, even though several members of the Brotherhood had tried to convince her to. Instead, Triss chose to stay at Aruza, where she was under the protection of Tissaia. And that protection involved being a teacher at the school. You probably would have noticed that scene where the student had a lily flower in their hands and a rock. This was most likely for the levitation incantation they were being taught, and it required that the life force of the flowers be drained to lift the rock. And the incarnation that was spoken during this procedure is what is known as Zalil-Ib, which in Elder speech means to rise up. Considering that this is one of the first lessons Yennefer learned at the beginning of the series, it has remained very important to her. Unfortunately, in the 2nd season, Yennefer lost her ability to use magic. She had made an attempt at reciting this same incantation in the Deathless Mother's lair, but it wasn't effective. Number 3. Cahir's development. Indeed, through the season, we have seen a great level of growth in the characters. However, not a lot of those come close to that of Cahir, who is a high-ranking Nilfgaardian intelligence officer and a trusted ally of Imperior Emhyr. In the 1st season, however, Cahir was assigned to the task of capturing Princess Cerelia of Cintra and delivering her to Emhyr. Cahir was indeed a true believer in the Nilfgaardian cause, as he never once questioned his loyalty to Emhyr, nor his belief in Emhyr's mission. And such remarkable loyalty remained even in the face of severe brutality. However, all of this began to take a turn after Cahir was captured in the 2nd season, as he tried escaping the Brotherhood's custody and finding his way back to Cintra. Most of his time was spent hiding. Throughout this time, Cahir found himself mixing into different groups of people, some of which happened to be elves. And so, when he finally finds his way, Cahir shows to have undergone some character development and appears to be more lenient to people with a different stand on the Nilfgaardian beliefs. A very significant character that falls into this category is Mage Fringilla. And then, in the 3rd season, Emhyr assigns the huge task of killing Gallatin to Cahir. Unfortunately, Gallatin was an elven warrior Cahir had befriended during the time he was with the elves. Still, in his unwavering loyalty, Cahir goes ahead to kill Gallatin. However, it is soon clear that he is burdened with regret. For the first time in so many years, Cahir begins to question his beliefs and loyalty to Emhyr. Number 4. Yards of Illusion. Interestingly, the events of the 5th episode of the 3rd season all happened in one night. This was the ball that was organized by the Brotherhood and Aretuza. Indeed, nothing is as it seems, as many people have had several different perspectives of this night. However, the idea of this ball is to turn all the magical advisors against Nilfgaard. But unlike the others, Geralt and Yennefer are on a mission of their own. They plan to find enough evidence to back the theory that Stregobor is responsible for Rhaenys' attack on Ciri. In this episode, songs are performed by a group of bards. However, what stands out is that they frequently repeat the phrase, "all is not as it seems." While this may seem to have been referring to anything aside from the entire theme of the episode, that is, there is a twist. Apparently, it turns out that Stregobor is in fact not responsible for Rhaenys' attack, as they may have believed. Rather, the actual culprit and mastermind behind all the evil is Vilgefortz, a trusted ally of the sorcerer Tissaia. Number 5. The Queen's Death. One of the major characters we had in the War of the Northern Kingdoms in the 3rd season is King Vizimir of Redania. Just at the beginning of the season, Vizimir showed his intentions of capturing Cerealia and marrying her so he could take control of Cintra. This plan was simply so he could become the strongest king in all of the Northern Kingdoms. After making his plans known, Sigismund Dijkstra and Philippa Eilhart, his spymaster and sorceress advisor, respectively gave their full, unwavering support. However, those plans quickly changed after Vizimir met with Nilfgaard and was convinced to deliver Ciri into the hands of the invading kingdom. Unfortunately, Dijkstra and Eilhart didn't seem very pleased with the change of events, so the king didn't have their support. Things spice up a little more when a box that is supposed to be a gift from Nilfgaard gets delivered to Vizimir. With excitement, Vizimir goes ahead to find out the content of this gift, only to find out it is the head of his wife, Hedwig. This completely shatters him, but the plot soon thickens as his brother Radovid finds out that Dijkstra and Eilhart masterminded the queen's death. The plan was to frame Nilfgaard and make room for Vizimir to still marry Ciri once she was captured, although Eilhart had hinted about making the queen's head useful to them. No one would have imagined that she meant that literally. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like and let us know what insane things we may have missed out on this list. While you're on it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. Thank you very much for watching.